Texas A&M's Board of Regents overruled the institution's president and faculty senate in order to do away with an LGBT study program. This is Friday, November 8th, 2024.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State, the Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
We've made it into Friday. Thanks for spending part of the day here with the Texas Minute. Migrants are continuing to cross the border illegally, with many more expected to do so while Joe Biden and Kamala Harris remain in office. More on that coming up. Well, speaking of borders, Texas Land Commissioner Don Buckingham has announced that the Texas-Oklahoma border along the south side of Lake Texoma has been moved with the assistance of the General Land Office and the Red River Boundary Commission. The action was taken to ensure that a drinking water pump station on Lake Texoma is officially located entirely in Texas. According to Buckingham, the change will secure the availability of 30% of the drinking water supply for 2 million people within the region. When the water pumping station was built back in 1989, it resided fully in Texas at the time. But in 2000, the border was shifted under a compact between Texas and Oklahoma, inadvertently placing a majority of the water pumping station in Oklahoma. Transferring an equal amount of land from Texas into Oklahoma facilitated the move of the station and its 1.34 acres back to the Lone Star State. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick isn't letting up in his criticism of House Speaker Dade Phelan, but he's urging members of the House to reform their chamber regardless of who holds the office. When the 89th session convenes in January, there will be 88 Republicans in the 150-seat House. Lieutenant Governor Patrick said it would be a, quote, slap in the face for the House to be led by a Republican whose power originates with the Democrats. It's worth noting that President-elect Donald Trump endorsed against Phelan in the GOP primary. Phelan barely won re-election, Patrick notes, with, quote, Democrat crossover voters. Many small groups of illegal border crossers have been observed traversing the Rio Grande by Texas scorecard at various locations around Eagle Pass over the past several days. Thousands of migrants, though, have been seen moving north through Mexico, heading to the U.S. border. Experts have warned that these caravans will be attempting to illegally enter the country before Donald Trump can assume the presidency in January. The Texas Minute will be right back.
Why get your news from people who don't share your values? Get news stories from Texas Scorecard. We provide real news for real Texans. Go to texasscorecard.com today.
The Board of Regents overseeing the Texas A&M University system pushed back against the, quote, shared governance with woke faculty members by voting to end 52 low-performing programs, including an LGBTQ minor. The Regents' vote was unanimous. They also eliminated certificates in cultural competency, diversity, and popular culture. Notably, the Regents took their action despite pushback from the Faculty Senate and A&M President Mark Welsh. Attempting to stonewall the effort, Welsh had recommended that the current review process be halted and restarted to obtain, quote, input from the Faculty Senate. A professor of English from Texas A&M, who also works in the Women's and Gender Studies program, told Regents that the LGBTQ minor had been, quote, created largely due to student demand. Yet, records show only 6 students had enrolled in the LGBTQ program during the fall and spring semesters of 2023 and the fall semester of 2024 combined. You can find the details of all the stories mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Addie Hovland, Will Biagini, and Robert Montoya. It was produced by Nick Shepard in the 1836 studios. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening to the first news of the day for the Lone Star State. This has been the Texas Minute with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.